Hello, everyone, and welcome to one of the final sessions of our Freshers Week this week. We've made it to Friday. It's almost the end. I hope you've all been having a fantastic week so far. And this session is Get to Know Your Presidents and Vice Presidents. I'm sure you've seen us all over the place all week, but this is an opportunity to kind of ask us any questions that you've maybe had, anything that's been building up that you want to question, you want to ask us what our favourite moments of the week have been. Please get engaged in the comments and ask us any questions that you might have. But to start, I think it's best we all introduce ourselves, let you know who we are, what our position is, and let's go for what course you study as well, just as a little extra. So I'm going to throw to Laila first, and then Dami
Okay.
next.
Okay, all right. Hello, everybody. My name is Laila, your Student President, Communication and Democracy. My course, I'm studying MSc Business Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And why I chose RGU, that's part of the question, right?
Yeah.
Why I chose RGU was just because initially I wanted to study entrepreneurship. Back home in Nigeria, I have some businesses, but I have this idea that I want to, take up to scale into a bigger business. So I wanted to study entrepreneurship. I checked out universities in the UK, and out of all the options that I had, RGU had the perfect modules on business strategy. They had the perfect modules. And then I also found out that RGU has a dedicated entrepreneurship group. That's the innovation and entrepreneurship group at RGU. And then I also found out that the RGU also has a very beautiful reputation for international student satisfaction. So, and then what also now made me fall in love with RGU was I contacted the university, to make inquiries, and I got the most welcoming and reassuring response. I was hooked right from the first email, so that's how I got here.
That is amazing. I mean, if you are watching and you've got your course of study ready to comment, then let us know and we'll tap in and see if we can answer any questions. Dami, what about you?
My name is Dami, President, Education and Welfare at RGU Union. I'm studying International Business Management, MSc. And why I chose RGU is just because, going online to search for schools to come to, when living in Nigeria, I found RGU to be, very big on student voice and, that institution that actually listens to students, believing that students are experts in their own learning, and that appealed strongly to me. And also RGU being number one for employability in Scotland, just definitely this is where I want to be. So yeah, that's why I chose RGU.
Amazing. Cheeky wee plug for the number one there. Doireann, do you want to go next?
Hi everyone, my name is Doireann McCauley and I'm the Vice President for Education for the coming academic year. I'm in my third year of my integrated Masters in Occupational Therapy, and that kind of links into the reason why I chose RGU is actually at the time it was I think it might still be the only integrated Masters of Occupational Therapy program that was available. And also when I came up, kind of similar to, I can't remember who said, but I think it was Laila, that when I came over for my interview, I just found that everyone was really welcoming, and I found the whole process just really reassuring. I thought the campus was beautiful, and also the quality of student life over here is especially compared to at home, it's par none. So yeah, that's myself.
Oh, amazing. And last but not least, we have Ribh.
Hi, I'm Ribh. I'm your Vice President of Community. I study media. I'm going into fourth year, the big scary year. And the reason why I chose RGU was because of the links between the North East Scotland College and RGU. So I was a direct entry student into second year, and the transition was a lot easier.
Amazing. And Ribh, where are you based right now? I feel like that's a very familiar background. People might have seen it before.
This is our fabulous media hub. If you're interested in joining Radar, then you can experience this background and all the equipment with it.
Top quality. And finally, my name is Jordan, President of Sport and Physical Activity. I've actually graduated, so we've got a diverse group of people, masters, integrated masters, undergraduate and graduated in nutrition last year, so in 2020, and I chose RGU because of the quality of the course. Number one for food science in the UK, and actually one of the best decisions. And when I came to meet all the staff and saw the labs, it was a no-brainer in terms of the quality of education as well. So yeah, that's a quick whip around. We also have a number of other vice presidents part of the team. So we have Lemuel, who's Vice President Society, Familila, who's Vice President International, VP of Welfare, Greg, and I can't have missed someone, can I?
No.
Right. No, we're all good. Full
For
house.
me, okay, for me.
Yeah. Full house, perfect. But unfortunately, they couldn't join us today. But again, all their contact details and information around them and their roles will be available on the union website and across social media as well, as you can see at the bottom of the screen as well. We'll just press on with the session. We'll keep going. We've got a good flow going here. So I guess the next thing is, how did you get involved in the union? Obviously, you've kind of talked about your courses and how you got involved and why you came to study at RGU. But the next stage of that, I guess, is getting involved in student activity and extracurricular things. So a bit about how you got involved in the union and what drew you to your position on the executive. So we'll flip it on its head and we'll go to Ribh first and then go all the way back down to Laila.
So when I came from college, I joined quite a lot of societies to kind of become a part of the union, make friends who had similar interests. So I started off just like being a member and then becoming a part of the societies, like in events management roles, treasurer roles. So yeah, I then knew what the exec team was, but I was a bit scared. I was like, no, that's not for me. That is too stressful. But then last year during lockdown, I was like, okay, I'll go for it. I'll see how it goes. And yeah, I think with the union, it may seem scary, but definitely just go for it because it's not as scary as you think.
Some solid advice all in one. Doireann, do you want to go next and then we'll go to Dami?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've somewhat, I guess, been involved with the union since my first year. I initially was a class rep for my first year cohort, and then in my second year I went on to be a student school officer for the School of Health Sciences. That's the role I'm still in. And then I suppose a bit like Ribh, like I remember looking at exec and being like, that's really interesting, but also really scary, and I don't think I'm qualified enough for that. But I've always had a huge interest in education, and teaching was actually something I had considered going into it. So it definitely was kind of right up my alley. And I think having been involved as a student school officer last year on like a higher level within the union, I was able to see the role that the Vice President of Education had, and that actually wasn't as scary, and that I was definitely more than capable for it. And yeah, I ended up running for it. Definitely didn't think I'd get it, but look, I'm here now.
I think that's solid advice for anyone that is interested. Just go for it and you'll never know where you end up. And Dami, how did you get involved?
Well, for me, I was class rep for international business management for last semester, and also I got involved with different student groups and networks at RGU, and that put me at that point where I could see the work that goes on in the union and how students like myself work together with the university to enhance student learning experience at RGU. So I decided to run as president, education and welfare, and here I am.
Definitely a common theme. Just here we are. We just ended up here on this StreamYard on a Friday afternoon, as if by chance. And Laila, finally, how did you get involved in the union?
Okay, I got involved because I saw the opportunity that being involved actually affords students. You're able to be a voice for your fellow students. You're able to represent them. There are things, of course, as students, we get to see what we think could be done better, and being involved with student union and running for the elections gives us that opportunity to, work to see those changes that we want, to see happen. So I actually got here because I arrived during lockdown and I had some kind of like experiences, and I thought, yeah, we could do better. So this was a platform for me to, represent my fellow students and make those changes happen. So that's how I got here.
Amazing. And Ribh, I'm going to come back to you in terms of volunteering opportunities. There's obviously lots of different ways to get involved in the union, but one of the biggest ones is volunteering among societies, sports clubs, different groups. And how can students get involved, and what would you recommend they do if they would be interested in getting involved?
Definitely. So volunteering is a big part of my manifesto, finding different opportunities that students can get involved with. Currently, I think the main way is to see a student group or sports club that you're interested in, speak to them, and see if they have any roles. That's mainly how I did it 2 years ago. With the Feel Good Society, I was like, do you have any roles for events management? And they basically created a role. So I think, there's definitely scope for just messaging a society and being like, do you have any volunteer opportunities? And then with this year, we'll have many different volunteer opportunities that will work on creating. So selling Christmas cards, doing a Christmas gift drive, there'll be so many opportunities.
Amazing. And you touched on it there. Most clubs, societies, networks, the union have social media. So definitely if you have any questions for anyone specifically, they're all super friendly. They'll all reply to your messages. Just give them a little message on Facebook or Instagram, or drop them an email. You can find all the emails on the union website. So get involved that way as well. And you can also email us. So you'll find all of our contact details on the RG Union website as well. So a bit about how you got involved, but what are you looking forward to in your roles? Obviously elected on a manifesto, kind of as you've mentioned there, Ribh. Lots of plans already for the year ahead, but what are you most looking forward to for the year ahead? And we're going to mix it up. We're going to go to Dami first.
Okay, so for me, I'm just looking forward to a more resilient, a more connected, and a more inclusive RGE student community, especially now that we're all coming back, like sort of a recovery period from the lockdowns and COVID. I want to see more students get involved. I want to see more societies and networks spring up. I want to see the student voice being displayed evidently across campus. I want to see more inclusive RGE where, and regardless of race, of ethnicity, regardless of your creed, sexual orientation, or your religious beliefs, where you're able to speak up for things that are important to you and to the entire student body. So yes, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Amazing. And Dami, I'm going to let you pick someone to go to next.
Definitely Doireann.
It's almost obligatory at this stage. I suppose one thing I'm really looking forward to in the coming academic year in my role is kind of similar from Dami, like it's seeing that equality in the academic education that's being delivered across campus, especially as we maybe make a move coming back towards a more blended campus with a lot more people being on campus as opposed to maybe being like digital learning at the moment. I think one thing that's definitely a bit more personal to me, especially, is actually the examinations and assignments. I think the way in which they're delivered and given back to students, I definitely have seen it has had a big impact on students over the last year. I think especially with COVID and everything, the way in which students are examined and the way in which feedback was given was quite different. And I think for some it was beneficial, and I think that for some it was a bit detrimental. So I think it's finding that balance of what we've learned that is good and what doesn't work throughout this digital COVID period, and then bringing it all into like this harmonious balance throughout the coming years. So yeah.
What a year, Doireann. What a year. Yeah, you can also pick someone to go to next.
I'm going to pass on to Ribh.
So what I'm most looking forward to is making sure that the union sort of creates networking opportunities with local charities. So during Freshers Week, not last week, it's still this week, we had our quiz night and breakneck comedy night, and we managed to raise about £150 for Charlie House. So just small opportunities that'll help immensely with different charities like Charlie House, Aber Necessities, the local baby bank. So things like that, getting students involved with the local charities and organisations, becoming a part of the internal and external community.
Amazing. And last but not least, Laila, what are you looking forward to?
Okay, for me, I work closely with our student groups and societies, as well as the international student group as well. So for me, I'm looking forward to our students engaging, effectively engaging with our societies, with our student groups, with our networks as well. That's what we just returned from a whole year of non-in-person interactions. So now that we're back on campus, I'm really looking forward to seeing students be involved with societies and international student groups, and then networks as well, and other student groups as well.
Amazing. And if you are watching along at home or on campus somewhere, if you find a spot in the Stonewwood building or the library to watch this long, leave us a comment. What are you looking forward to most this year? And we'll tap into your comments and give them a shout out as well. We're moving rapidly through these questions, guys, but we're just going to keep going because we've not.
I think, Jordan, what are you most looking forward to?
Thanks, Ribh. I'm looking forward to all the in-person activity. Freshers Week was definitely something we're looking forward to, obviously, before this week, and it's been absolutely fantastic. The fair yesterday was so good, and so good to meet so many students in person and not on a screen like this. So looking forward to more of that, and obviously, naturally it's in the title, but looking forward to the return of sport, the return of training, the return of competition, and all of the social and fundraising activity that comes with that as well. So just excited to see students enjoying themselves and seeing campus alive again.
Yeah.
It's been a long year without it, so yeah, really looking forward to that. But thanks, Rhys. Thanks for asking. We'll move on to advice. Does anyone have any advice for students at all? What, I guess, if you were in their shoes, you can think back to your first year or your second year. What advice would you give to students starting at RGE or returning to their studies at RGE ahead of this year particularly, or even just the semester? We can chunk it, the semester in years. And we'll go to, I don't think we've been to you first yet, Doireann. So we'll give everyone else a chance to think, but you're on the spot.
I'm on the spot there. So I think general advice that I give to students for the coming academic year, especially as we move forward, as you say, like Jordan, being a bit more on campus and having sports and everything available to students, I think it's just taking all of the opportunities that are presented to you, whether they be academic, social, or sport. There's so much going on within RGU, so much, I think, more than I'll ever realize myself. I was at the Freshers' Fair yesterday and I was looking around at these societies going, I didn't even know that society was a thing, and I'm in my third year. So yeah, I wish I could have gone around it and gone to the different stalls and found out about everyone. So I think it's just taking on those opportunities and not being afraid and putting yourself out there. Not being afraid to be wrong and not being afraid and maybe speak up in class, and you're not always going to have the right answer. But that's how you learn. That's also the more educational side coming through. But that's how you learn, by being wrong and by making mistakes. But no one's ever going to judge you. Your peers aren't going to judge you. Your lecturers aren't going to judge you. That's what everyone's here for, is to learn. So yeah, that's myself. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Jordan, and ask what it is that you're looking, what advice you would give to students for the year.
I'm getting all the questions now. Very similar advice. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to ask that question, take that step. And don't be afraid to speak to someone if you've stepped into your lecture and you're not sure who someone is, or you don't really have anyone to speak to. Just go and sit next to someone and chat to them. They're not going to mind. They probably were in a similar position, or would be keen for someone else to be friends with or chat to. Don't be afraid to turn up to things on your own, which was something I was terrified of in first year. But if you take that step and just do it, you never know who you're going to meet, and you could make friends for life, and generally probably will make a friend for life. So don't be afraid to turn things on your own. There's always, especially the events that we've been at this past week, we're always there, keen to chat, keen to get involved, and keen to be your friend also. So don't be afraid to kind of take that step and take that plunge to doing something as well. And I will go to Laila, because you look prepared. You look like you've got some wisdom in you.
So my personal advice for students would be to also get involved as well. Really, there are a whole lot of opportunities. Just get involved. Get involved. Get involved. It would not only, like, from it you develop new skills. You can also gain skills that you can actually use on your CV that can boost your CV as well. Like the volunteering opportunities, seize them. Get involved. When you're done with your volunteering in school here, I'm aware that we know at RGU we give out certificates, as in to show for the hours you have contributed towards volunteering, and these can actually help boost up your CVs as well. So go ahead, get involved with the student union activities, with the society's activities, with the international student group activities. Get involved. It really pays at the end of it all.
Right. Dami, any advice? Also looking for wisdom.
Absolutely. We understand that it might be a challenging time for some students out there just now who are not certain or who are not sure about where to find things around campus or around the city, or you just need to speak to someone about how to progress or how to make the most of your academics. Just letting you know that there is so much support available, and we've spent the entire week just going over all the support services available at uni. But if you're still not sure about where to go, feel free to speak to us at the union, or you can use Ask RGU to ask any questions, and don't keep it in. And also, if for any reason you're struggling with your mental health, or you're not really sure about what all this is about, we have support from wellbeing and counseling, and we also have support from peer support and Nightline. So definitely speak to someone, and definitely get in touch at any time when you need support.
Amazing, good advice. And Ribh, no pressure. You've had the longest to think, so I'm expecting something big.
I guess, get involved. There's so many different opportunities. This Wednesday I went to indoor curling. I'd never done it before. It was part of the amazing sports day. So just, if you've never done anything, make university the chance to do it. There's so many different chances. And if there's something that you want to do, but it doesn't exist, speak to the union to see how you can make it a group, even just an event. So, take the leap and make the most of the different opportunities, including the free RGU sports membership, which I'm sure Jordan can talk more about, but there's definitely different opportunities to be like, yep, I'll do that this year, and then, find a different passion.
Amazing. And since you did touch on it, Ribh, I'll mention it here. But yeah, RG Sport are offering free student gym membership. So if you're not into the going out, the socializing, you're looking for something else to do with your evenings or your mornings or your afternoons, or you have a break in lectures, just whenever, you can access the gym for complete free. You don't have to pay a single thing. You can go for a swim. You can use all the weights, all the different machines, and group exercise classes as well. So please do sign up for that via the RG Sport website. As I say, completely free. And the more students that take it on, the better. So the more people we can get physically active, it's good for your social health, good for your mental health, and good for your physical health. So please do get involved and sign up and show RG Sport some support. And no doubt you'll probably meet people in the gym and you'll make friends there, and you'll see lots of different opportunities around the building as well. So yeah, good job, Ribh. You remember doing my job better than I am in terms of promotion. Perfect. Well, that's a lot of advice. I guess I've got a rogue question for all of you. This is not what I've briefed you on. I'm keen to know what your favourite thing about Aberdeen is. Obviously, students arriving, having never been here before, don't know what there is. What's your favourite thing to do in Aberdeen, or something that you've always wanted to try in Aberdeen that you would encourage students to give a go? We'll pause for thought for 2 seconds, because that's a rogue question. Ribh, you're local. You must have something.
I know. I'm thinking, I've got 3 dogs, so technically my favourite part is, enjoying the different walks, going to the castles. Aberdeen has a lot of National Trust of Scotland sites. So, castles and different estates, that's something really fun. And then I think, we were talking about this earlier with Dami, but the Aberdeen Christmas market, I think, is my favourite part about Christmas, getting to see all the stalls, eating food, doing ice skating, albeit slightly terribly, but yeah, a lot of fun.
Amazing. A good list there. Who's going to go next? I'm going to let you guys jump in.
Absolutely. Ribh took that out of my mouth. I was going to talk about the Christmas village, but yeah, I'll just talk about generally hospitality in Aberdeen is top notch, as Laila would always say. So yeah, feel free to just explore. I mean, get to know the city, nightlife, and daytime as well. And obviously, I'm not going to take out our beautiful campus. So whenever you're on campus, take a walk along the grounds. It's very green and very beautiful, whether it's in summer or in winter, and just take time out to also look at the river. The River Dee flows right along the campus, and that's just wonderful to experience. So yeah, definitely.
I'll jump in next. So despite the fact that I'm in my 3rd year, I actually think time-wise I've spent less than a year in Aberdeen. But having come over for a placement last year when everything was shut, I definitely got to experience the nature side of Aberdeen, I will say. One thing I do particularly enjoy is going down to the beach and sampling the absolute amazing range of hot chocolates that they have down there. I think my favourite may have been a Biscoff hot chocolate. Unfortunately, mine's maybe not as nice memory invoking as everyone else's Christmas markets and the beautiful nature. I have hot chocolates by the beach, but it's quite enjoyable. And I think I quite like Duthie Park. That could be quite controversial, but I think it's also because it's the only place I know that's near me and I know how to get there and get back without getting lost. So yeah, if you're new to the city, don't be afraid of getting lost, because you'll eventually find your way back, or you have access to Google Maps. It's my best friend.
Advice and a favourite thing about Aberdeen. Good job, Doireann. Rapid 2 questions on. And Laila, you've had so much time to think now. What's your favourite thing?
Okay, my favourite thing to do in Aberdeen since I've arrived is I enjoy taking long walks. Like, when I say long walks, I mean 1 hour walks, 1 hour, 30-minute walks. Like, what I did sometime earlier was, I was like, this is my house. Okay, so today I would take it, I will go this way. I will walk, if I can, to the end of that street, make sure it's a 1 hour trip to and fro. Then I'll go this way as a 1 hour trip to and fro as well. Then one other thing I also enjoy doing in Aberdeen is every weekend when I can, my family and I, we take rides out of Aberdeen. We visit the villages that are around. Last weekend we were at Braemar. The other day we were at Peter Colta. So like, going to all these villages that are around and seeing the cows, seeing the sheep, it's just so beautiful and so peaceful, and like you're able, and then the fresh air as well. Yes, it's chilly, yes, but as in feeling the chilly air like bounce on your face is it's so soothing. I found it so refreshing. So that's what I actually enjoy doing since I've been here.
Amazing. I've got one more thing to add. There's a fantastic trampoline park called Jump In. So if you're looking for something fun to do with your flatmates or your friends, I would highly recommend.
Okay.
It's very fun.
Awesome.
Amazing. Well, I think we're all facted, advised, named out. But if you do have any questions, you know where to find us. We are all over social media, and we all have Instagram accounts, and all contact details can be found on the union website as well. But thank you so much to Dami, Ribh, Doireann, and Laila for joining us. And thank you all for watching as well. And hopefully, if you're catching this at a later date, all this content is still relevant for you and still very informative as well. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Freshers Week, and we'll see you very soon.